Hi guys, N7E CV and QRP Life here. Well, I came across the Smokin' Apes $1,000 Ham Shack Challenge, and I decided to take part. So this is the N7E CV QRP Life take on the $1,000 Ham Shack Challenge. This is near and dear to me, as I only had about that much to get started when I really got serious about having fun with ham radio. I had under $1,000 to my name back then, let alone that much for a ham shack. So in the spirit of QRP life, let's dive into what I think would be $1,000 best spent on your or my new ham shack. My YL still thinks I ordered all this stuff. Don't tell her I didn't. We're going to assume that you already have a laptop or PC as you're watching my YouTube video. So that won't be part of this. I'll have some links down below for the major items. And let's get started. Well, you're a new ham and ready to get on the air. I was that ham too. One thing I did not get was a proper introduction to the inner workings of a radio. I was given no opportunity to dig into a radio or receiver and at least visualize a bit of what those textbooks were trying to explain. The art of the Elmer had waned in those decades, and I'm a product of little guidance, and it still really shows today. With that being said, let me introduce you to your first HF radio. The U-Bit X version 6. Now, oh wait. Are you mad? Did you giggle and leave? Have you caught your breath? Okay. There are many reasons why I chose this particular radio, and one was the price. For just $209, free shipping, you have access to all the bells and whistles of most of the big boy radios. 2, it's open source. This thing could be the best learning tool in your shack. 3, this radio, although it's a kit, really emulates one of those old school snap type model cars some of you may have built as kids. May still build them now. If you're an Augie, then you've seen him build his and should have an idea as to how easy these kits go together. This rig supports 2 VFOs, RIT, it's got open source software, CW semi break-in, an SWR and signal meter, and is forever changing and changeable, or it can be just left alone the way it is. It's also supported by a very large community of friendly builders and hackers that love to help newbies out. I think it's a best choice for your first dive into amateur radio. As a kit, you'll get a chance to visualize the radio's components as you piece it together, giving you a basic understanding of some of that info you had read to pass your test. It's also an easy kit, so you'll not get discouraged and leave it in a heap like my MCHF over there. This radio is a great stepping stone into the true spirit of amateur radio and will benefit your future in understanding basic electronics. Plus, it will and can be uniquely yours. After a year with this thing, it will be an entirely different radio. If only just a case or display screen mod, it's gonna be your rig. You're going to enjoy this radio for years to come. I promise you that. Don't be scared. Embrace the suck and dive in. Okay, now we need an antenna. I chose the Vibroplex Par N-Fed 1kW. I now use this very antenna and can vouch for its performance. It has very low SWR at QRP levels and averages about 1.5 or less at QRO levels. It is well made and backed by a long-standing ham radio community and company. Quick note, this antenna came to me from the factory tuned to the CW portions of the band. If I had adjusted the small tuning coil by just sliding it a bit, the sideband portions would be more resonant.
Resonant frequency.
This is a simple wire antenna and can be shaped to fit most lots. I've enjoyed great performance from this antenna since recently replacing my random wire setup with it. It's rated for 1 kilowatt and in many cases will never need a tuner. For $169.95, this will be a great investment for your shack. I am sure more than a few of you are just shaking your heads at me by now. And that's okay. Next up on the list will be an investment for our shack of a 30-foot aluminum flagpole. I personally use one of these and have no trees nearby, and I needed a tie-off for the wire antenna. These things are lightweight, so much so that I can raise and lower it by myself with no issues and should be able to long into my later years of life. I've had mine up for 5 years now with no issues. The wire antenna can be called a guideline, and you can one day tune the flagpole. For $104.90, you get an HOA maybe antenna. Next, we'll add an RF isolator, the MFJ 915. It's worked for me for over 5 years. I have one at my feed point and keep one in my go bag. For $59.95, it's worth every penny. We're going to need some coax as well, so I chose 100 foot of RG8U at $89.95. It was a good deal and the length I needed. Your needs are definitely going to vary. We're going to now need some way to power our station. I chose yet another setup I use personally. The Suoaki portable solar generator with solar panels. At $224.98, your station is now off-grid and solar powered. Way to go! We also get USB charging, a small inverter for any station accessories. My Suoaki runs my QRP station for 2 days in digital mode ops and 4 days in sideband. I can get over a week of RX with it. It takes up to 12 hours to charge via the grid or 12-volt car input and up to 2 full days in full sun to reach a full charge. The charge time is worth the trade-off in use for me. I definitely get plenty of use out of that Suoaki battery system for the cost. A CW key is also on my list. I found either a paddle or straight key for $24, $29.94 on Amazon. Which one you choose is best left for cannabis and deep thoughts. Last, we need jumpers and a few station accessories to fit it all together. Paracord to raise the antenna and guide the flagpole it needed. 300 feet of paracord, $23.99. Hose clamps to secure a pulley, $7.19. The pulley to raise the antenna, you get a 2-pack on Amazon for $18.99. One USB sound adapter for digital modes, if that's what you're into, $8.98 on Amazon. There are many other options to accomplish this, but this is one I relied on to when I was broke. This was very simple for me. You'll get 2 auxiliary cables for $9.96. So need that for digital modes if you're into it as well. You'll need 1 BMC to SO239 little adapter. Those are $6.50 on Amazon. A 2-pack of jumper cables, $13.99 on Amazon. A bag of Quickcrete for the flagpole, that's $6.98 or roughly under $10 at most Home Depots and big shop stores. That's a grand total of $987.36. And for that, you'll get a great chance to learn just a little bit more about the operations of a radio. You'll be on the cutting edge of experimentation if you desire, and you'll have an antenna system resonant and ready for you when you upgrade your station's output capabilities. For under $1,000, and by using a few things you already own, you've set yourself up in a position where station upgrades will not only be compatible, but affordable. I hope to work your station one day and have fun. Remember, this hobby's all about experimentation. Get out there and enjoy. That's all for me tonight. This is N7ECV and QRP Live. 7-3.